It's Friday, January 17, and time for your Barbados Today Morning News Update. St. Albans Primary School remains closed today to facilitate counselling for students and staff following yesterday's deadly shooting near the St. James facility. Counsellors will be at the school from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. to lend assistance to anyone, including parents or guardians, impacted by the incident, which claimed the life of 37-year-old parent Marlon Holder.
There'll be no classes, no official classes, but just as we did with the Frederick Smith matter, we worked with the teachers, and we understand that it's going to be difficult for some of them. We've asked them to work with each other, where we know that there are some who may have a harder time being able to reintegrate tomorrow, to be able to help pull some weight as well. And we recognize that there are some students as well who, right now the parents may be wondering what to do, and therefore we established a hotline at the ministry, just as we did with Frederick Smith, so persons can take advantage of being able to call in to be able to get the necessary counselling that they require, but it will be available at the school compound.
That was Education Minister Santia Bradshaw speaking to the media. Meanwhile, Principal Wendin Prince said the main focus at this time was to get students back to a sense of normalcy as soon as possible.
Well, the minister has assured the teachers that she'll be providing the necessary counselling for all students and teachers and ancillary staff. And we will also take the time to talk to the children, one-on-one if need be. And we will always be there to assist them in any way. We have chats that we will communicate to their parents too. If there's anything that we observe, we'll be communicating to the parents immediately.
Class 4 students of the Laurencj Primary School will be housed at the nearby Moravian Church for the time being. This after the Spooners Hill facility shut its doors to undergo environmental tests. However, there is still no word on accommodations for the rest of the school population. First Vice President of the school's PTA, Stephanie Williams, says parents and guardians are still seeking answers despite last night's meeting with education officials.
I think that the meeting was productive to some extent, but at the end of it, I think that the outcome for the parents was not as satisfactory as they would have expected. They came here with questions and they wanted answers. I don't believe that they got all the answers that they were looking for. Our plans going forward, well, we will have to have another executive meeting to discuss our strategies going forward in the interest of both the teachers and the students.
One of Barbados's main rum producers is reporting a major turnaround in its export business. And officials of the West Indies Rum Distillery Limited say there's room for Barbados and the rest of the region to earn more foreign exchange and employ more people in the industry. Barbados exports roughly $80 million in rum annually, and the company's chairman, Alexandre Gabriel, believes the island could earn even more in the next decade.
For us at West Indies Rum Distillery, thanks to the great work of the team here, our exports have been growing tremendously. I can give you a number. The numbers were published. The distillery was doing 24 million Barbados dollars 3 years ago. This year will be a little excess of 45 million Barbados dollars, in terms of exports. So you'll see that I'm proud to say, in the name of the whole team, that actually, working together, we're able to turn this around and more than double in the course of 3 years and a half.
Meantime, the local rum producer has thrown its support behind government's decision to introduce breathalyzer testing.
We're in full support, and we would like to congratulate the government and everyone that was involved in getting it done. We think it's great. We think it's a great development for the country.
That was Managing Director of West Indies Rum Distillery Limited, Andrew Hassel. Centennial celebrations for the Right Excellent Errol Barrow will take place in St. Lucie. Minister in the Ministry of Transport, Works and Maintenance, Peter Phillips, gave details of events to observe the birthday of the island's first Prime Minister and a national hero at a press conference yesterday.
On January 21st, we've gone to his birthplace, which is at the garden, and he grew up at Pickwind Plantation, but was at the garden, which is near Chaka Hall, and we determined that we will have there a plaque laying ceremony and celebration in honor of this national hero. This ceremony will take place on the 21st of January at 3 p.m. at the Garden in Checker Hall. And the plaque would be unveiled by none other than the Honorable Prime Minister, Mayor Amor Motley. Of course, there will be a few speeches and so on, in recognition of the work that he would have done. And we also, immediately after that, not far on the Checker Hall playing field, there will be a mega concert in celebration of his life, his times, and so on.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Craft Center. Kick off the weekend this Friday from 4 p.m. to midnight with loads of food, drinks, and entertainment. Get ready for crop over with the Rhythm Roots Street Parade. Party like it's Kadooman Day on the street around Pelican Village with costume reveler, music, and more. It's Festive Friday. It's Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Village Center from 4 p.m. to midnight. Admission free.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Regional news now. There will be hell to pay if any cabinet minister in Belize is found to have received finances from accused American fraudster Lev Derman. That's according to Prime Minister Dean Barrow. Derman is under arrest in Utah for allegedly defrauding the United States government of over $500 million. Allegations are that he was also paying a Belize government minister as much as $25,000 on a monthly basis. Prime Minister Barrow says any minister proven to be guilty of receiving such funds will be removed from his cabinet, as he has already questioned members on the matter.
If it turns out that indeed there is evidence to show that a member or two members of my cabinet received funds from Mr. Lev, there will be hell to pay. I'm not even going to. I want there to be no misunderstanding. I'm not even going to get into the fact that, well, even if somebody is shown to have received, let's say, the $25,000 a month, but there is no allegation that the monies were given to the minister in return for that it constituted, in that Latin term now made famous by the one and only President Trump, in return for a quid pro quo.
Internationally now, the global economy has suffered a significant slowdown amid prolonged trade disputes and wide-ranging policy uncertainties. While a slight uptick in economic activity is forecast for this year, the World Economic Situation and Prospects 2020 warns that economic risks remain strongly tilted to the downside. At the launch of the report, the Assistant Secretary General for Economic Development, Elliot Harris, said the prospects convey a sobering message on the state of the global economy.
In an environment of prolonged trade disputes and high policy uncertainty, the global economy slowed to its lowest growth rate in a decade. The world continues to face a host of risks and uncertainties, including trade tensions, escalating geopolitical conflicts, elevated levels of debt, as well as increasing climate risks. The risks of a further deterioration in the economic situation are high.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.